Well, howdy, NearlySeniorCitizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this a brand new day, wherein I am sort of dreading going in and editing the video today. Foolishly, yesterday, after recording my vlog, I saw that Wondershare's Fillmore 11 has released to version 12 now. And I upgraded to version 12. I am one of the lucky people. I have a lifetime license because I bought the thing before they went subscription service. So now I'm automatically upgraded, and I don't know how to use it. It's all different. There's something called the 3D lookup table, 3D LUTs, and you can change how the color is on your video. I can't find how to put in LUTs anymore. My color on the videos looks just washed out and awful because I can't figure out how to change it anymore. Yay! And of course, front-loading of videos. If you could toss me a like, that'd be awesome. If you could subscribe to the channel, if you could leave me a comment, if you could, there's all sorts of things like, I want to thank all of these patron people, these beautiful and awesome people who are beautiful and awesome, helping to keep me and my pet alive. And if you would like to be one of these beautiful and awesome people and help me continue to monopolize, that would be very, very awesome. I have links to the Patreon as well as a PayPal and Amazon wishlist list. I have a post office box where I'll open up anything that anybody sends to me on camera, and these are all in the video description. So thumbs up, front loading of videos over. I wanted to say this one real quick. Back when I was younger, you know, you could buy black market dirt weed and it cost a lot of money. Now that a lot of states have gone legal for cannabis, I would have killed for a nugget like this back when I was younger. This is just dirt weed, but this was in one of the ounce packages that I bought. So thumbs up for that. I just thought I'd mention. Now, oh boy, yesterday I sort of wanted to do some recording, but I hadn't been able to take a shower during the entire week that I had been sick with the cellulitis. So I went and showered yesterday. And that's always exhausting anyway, because it takes 2 hours because of my chronic conditions. And on top of that, with getting better, thank goodness, with the cellulitis, still tired and exhausted. So I was super exhausted after showering yesterday. Now, as for my leg, there's a tiny bit of redness. Not much, just a tiny bit. A little bit of swelling, not really any swelling at all. It only hurt when I was going up and down the stairs because of exertion and waking up and going, oh, I'm not too happy yet. So, and that wasn't even bad. So since starting antibiotics on Monday, here it is Friday, and I feel physically almost like I haven't even had cellulitis anymore. Modern medicine is magic. I mean, 100 years ago, well, before penicillin and all that, that might have just been a death sentence. You know, it might have taken a year, but eventually I might have at least lost the leg, if nothing else. And yet now, thumbs up. I'm doing better. I went walkies last night to Walmart and back, and my leg felt, it was sore, it hurt, but compared, it was like this much hurt as compared to this much that I had been having. Modern medicine is just wonderful. Thank goodness for that. And I got a lot of weird stuff written down here, but it's a bunch of really minor things. Like, I figured out yesterday, I'd mentioned that I'd done a whole bunch of creative, disturbing type videos that I don't really feel good about. And I figured out why. It's for the same reason that this one scene in the second Addams Family movie almost destroys the 2 movie series for me. When the person who's supposed to jump out of a cake was baked into the cake. When the 2 movie series has gone out of their way to show that only if you act against the Addams are you in danger? And yet here's a person that was going to be helping the Addams, and they were murdered for it. Tonally, it does not fit, and it violates the rules that were given by the movie. Zzz. With the presettas that I have that bother me, tonally, they are that way. They are dead serious, and they are very grim and awful. Whereas a lot of the other things that I've done, while grim and terrible, also at least have a bit of a dark, cynical humor to them. Whereas these ones are just nasty, tonally different. And that's why I finally figured out that they bug me, the ones that I've done. They just don't fit that way. I still enjoy them, and I'm glad that I made them. It's just tonally, they come out of left field, so. And for when people think that, human beings were created the way that we are right now, that is so odd a thought. People saying that, bodies don't change. We are in the middle of 3 huge mutations in the human body right now. And they're not huge, but they are big changes. Long ago, and I talked about 2 of these, but I just found out about a third one. But long ago, we used to have a bone in the back of our knee that I don't know what it did, and we've done well without it. But in about a third of the population and growing, that bone in the back of the knee is coming back. It is just 30% of the population has that bone, and it is just growing in the population. Pretty soon, when we're talking about biology, that's, generations, which it can be hundreds of years with our growth rates, but that is going to happen in a short time. Everybody will have that bone in the back of the knee. And then we have a changing system of arteries in our wrists, where once again, about 30% of the human population, that's already changed. And it is spreading, and in a short period, biological time, all human beings will have this new change. The one that I just found out about, there is a flexor in your wrist. You may not even have it. There's if you do this and then you bring your wrist forward, you can see where the flexors are. About a third of the people in the world now don't have that flexor muscle. It's just gone. And that's spreading. Pretty soon, in biological terms, that muscle will be gone on everybody. We're changing and mutating all the time. But as somebody has pointed out in a different video that I watched, evolution is not goal-oriented. Evolution is just stuff happening. Natural selection is what takes care of, does something work or does it not? Because if it works, you just survive and you pass that on. If it doesn't work, like say your liver functions less accurately than it should, you don't live to pass that on, and so that part dies away. So, thumbs up. As well, talking about the solo RPG stuff, I forget stuff all the time because I'm trying to keep 5 different systems all in my head at the same time. I've got the Dungeon Blitz rules that I'm trying to remember so that I can play the game Dungeon Blitz for the channel. And then I'm keeping the Note Quest rules in my head, and the 4 Against Darkness rules in my head, and the D100 rules in my head, and I'm trying to learn other systems as well. I got ADHD. I got troubles trying to keep one system in my head. So no wonder I'm mixing everything up. I mean, I'm not going to beat myself up over it. In fact, I think it's kind of funny. So thumbs up on that, and yeah. You got to understand yourself. And again, the point of gaming is to have fun. It's not to be pedantic about the rules and drain the fun out of it. It's to have fun, and if you want to change if you've made a mistake, then you can. But if you find the game is more fun for you with that gone, go with the gusto. As well, now that I've got my safety vest, it is a weird feeling to go walking into places like Walmart because all of the people that work there wear the same kind of safety vest. And I don't want customers to think that I work at Safeway, at Walmart, and I don't want the Walmart employees getting confused and thinking that I work there because I look like them. So, what I'm thinking is when I get to Walmart or such, I might just take the thing off, put it into my backpack, and then put it back on before I go walkies. That way, I'm not going to have the workers there thinking I'm trying to pull something off by acting like them, and I'm not going to have customers thinking, oh, I'll ask that guy. Because when I go to Walmart, oh boy, finding somebody just to ask questions for is tough. And then I did want to talk more about my creative setting and the Cryptid stuff and the Razor's Edge thing. I've mentioned before that it is dangerous on the Razor's Edge. It is incredibly dangerous on the Razor's Edge. To live there on the Razor's Edge, you have to like living on the bleeding edge of an unending, untamable frontier. But most of the descendants that you see on the Apple Rock layer are descendants of thrill seekers and adrenaline junkies. And the people that move on there, like in the town of Tall Ned, where the sheriff needed a deputy, and somebody on the outside who was real close to having their site fully developed, found the ad for a deputy needed, flashed up and got their... It ended up being the push to give them their full site, and then they actually applied, got the job for deputy, and was commuting to the Razor's Edge for a while until he just moved there because he likes it. And there you're going to find people that will do that. As well, I'd mentioned that because it is dangerous, you will find corpses, human corpses, everywhere if you go out traveling, because you have to travel via glamour, because most of the Razor's Edge is small spots of stable geography in a largely undifferentiated space. And so the only way to travel through that is glamours, which is just a part of reality where everything can function as basically a waypoint. Anything that is an atom or a molecule or a chunk of something can be part of an anchor on this line of travel from layer to layer to layer. Anything can be a part of this line if it is an object. Now, the more like atoms you have in one object, the more likely it is to be a glamour. Like a pen could be a glamour, but a giant boulder made out of granite is much more likely to be a glamour. There's so much more of the same type. Any of the atoms in the atmosphere could work as a glamour, but the odds of it are so poor because there are so many atoms that aren't. And the more a glamour gets used, the more stable it becomes. So the more it gets used, so the more stable it becomes, until you have some glamour points that are just massive stable areas because they just end up getting used a lot. 99,999 times out of 100,000 times you use a glamour, you're going to be fine. It's that one time out of 100,000 you're going to come across a dangerous situation or a hungry creature, and then you're going to add your body to the world's resources because you're dead. Now, glamours you can think of as a way of traveling. When you think of a location and you have been there, you are sending out sparks. That location is also sparking. If you think about it and you've been there, you can form a connection between these sparks and they'll spark out and connect, and then you can travel. Think of that as like a lifeline that gets created, and you take a hook and you put it on the lifeline, and then you just follow the lifeline. Effectively, every millimeter you travel, if you just have a basic sort of sight and traveling on glamours, you are traveling between every millimeter you travel through a micro layer until you get to where you're going. And so if you travel a foot, that is like 300 micro layers that you have traveled through to get where you're going. So if you have to travel 45 miles, you're traveling through a lot of micro layers. the stronger your sense of sight, the more you can push and skip steps so that you're traveling, say, a half a kilometer because you're traveling steps, but you've traveled in the outer world a full kilometer. Some people, like old Ray, who's a character I have, they can push and ride the line so hard they can skip like 1,000, 10,000 micro layers, and they can travel 200-300 feet and go several hundred kilometers. So thumbs up on that. But that was just how the glamour sort of worked. But it is dangerous. And there are a lot of people, a near infinite amount of people on the Razor's Edge. The energy flowing inward and all the information inside. New people, new situations are always being formed. Even though effectively 1/10 of 1% of all the people in the Razor's Edge end up just randomly dying, that still, at the end of a day, there's more people than when you started. So even though it's dangerous, it's not a great drain. And yes, if you do minor traveling or you just stay in town most of the time, you might only run across 1 or 2 human corpses in a day. If you go traveling great distances for business, you may run across, normally you'll see approximately 40 human corpses if you just go out traveling. You travel far, it might be up to 100 corpses. About half of them half-eaten, and about half of them just, still softly decaying stacks. But it's dangerous, but only that 1 out of 100,000 times. And then on the cryptid front, I have characters, there is Polly and Jimmy, 2 of my main characters. Polly's parents are Alan and Clausy. They are minor characters that I still like. Alan is sort of just a wandering doofus. He doesn't really have any great opinions on anything. He really loves Clausy, and he wants to be with Clausy for the rest of his life, but they just exist. This is something that most cryptids just do. They don't have jobs. They don't live like people. They may spend their day waking up and then just, I'm just going to sit in the sun because it feels good. And then they spend all day just doing that. Alan and Clausy really like Christmas. So during Christmas time, they'll put on Christmas hats and they'll go to the mall and they'll listen to Christmas music because they just really enjoy it. And Alan, I see him walking with just some of the people who have the sight. It's like they'll be walking along and Alan will be like, oh, Steve, or, Jane, or whatever. And it's just walking along and talking because, hey, Alan recognizes you. And he's just, he's a soft lump of I'm happy and friendly. And so he'll just talk. And Alan is the kind of guy that you'll be talking to and he goes, yeah, I ate a duck today. I've been seeing ducks everywhere, so I ate a duck. And it's like, well, why did you eat a duck? And it's like, I seen him around, I was just curious. Well, what did it taste like? It tasted like a duck. It was duck flavor. Yeah, so Alan's the kind of person that even though he is not a drinker, he will wake up half frozen in a pond where the ice has formed over the pond, and his lower body is in the water, his upper body is in the snow, and there's the ice formed over him. But as long as it doesn't go to -40, any cryptid could wake up in that situation, just break the ice, stand up, and then start walking. And of course, I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments on my community tab. Going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language, well. So, we have Adrian XJG, thumbs up, thank you very much, and hopefully I'll have a solo thing done today. Jesse Koskinen, it is good to get better, and good to see you in the comments, my friend. We have Cake, thumbs up, thank you very, very much, and I hope to be actually doing solo RPG thing today. J-A-Y, thumbs up, thank you much, and good to see you as well. Jester, thumbs up. There is Flora Mew, thumbs up, thank you very much, greatly appreciated. And just do what you can, have fun on your visit, take care. And then there's Foo, thumbs up, thank you. I'm not awake, nor am I, but thank you very, very much. There is Chris, greatly appreciated. Oh, modern medicine is amazing. Shinra, when I say that there's no great call or any call at all, part of that is just being self-deprecating. There's not a huge call. There are some people, of which you are one, and I'm not trying to put you down. Thank you very, very much. It is appreciated to know. And good to see you in the comments. Then we have, I don't know. I've lost how many people. So just RJ Mitchell, thumbs up, thank you. Oddity, greatly appreciated. Ben B, thumbs up, thank you. There is FRYKY, thumbs up, thank you very, very much. Nicholas Jeremy, and that is it. I have no ideas how many people who left me comments, but it is appreciated, each and every one of you. You get me out of my head, into the world, and dealing with real people, if only for a short period of time, and if only in text. It is appreciated to no end. Thank you. Well, it being a Friday, I'm not really going to be able to make a lot of phone calls. Executive dysfunction and any of the places that I would need to call are going to be overcome because Fridays and Mondays, all old people have time, patience to do is sit there on the phone all frickin' day and wait. I can't. So, no matter what you do, no matter what you don't do, don't beat yourself up if you don't do what you want. Just survive. It is a good thing. And no matter what, for your situation with the Cofete bug resurging, with other illnesses out there, just be smart, take appropriate precautions, don't get sick, don't make other people sick. You don't want to suffer the long effects of a lot of diseases, nor do you want to throw your own body or anybody else's body onto the end-of-life corpse pile before your time. And of course, if you are out walking and you do hear the mournful howl of that bus horn, the bus with your name on it, yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair. But just brace for impact, because that bus is going to hit you and it's going to smear your corpse over the landscape. It's not fair. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing.